First video today, Tate, our man Tate, has a video entitled, Stop Reading Books. Because books are bad, I guess. Let's see why Tate doesn't want to do the books. See, okay, now we have a formal poll someone set up, and now Barbie's winning. But I already started talking about Tate, so we're doing Tate. I'm sorry. So Tate, why shouldn't we read books?
Stop asking me what books I read. I do not read books. I don't read books.
This is the least shocking news I've heard in a while.
Never read books. I've already told the story of the one book I've read in my adult life when I was in a jail cell. I don't read books any other time unless I literally am in jail. I refuse to.
Can I get that on a shirt? I do not read books any other time unless I am in jail. Tate. Andrew Tate.
To read books. And the reason I refuse to read books is because I do something that supplements reading books, and it's called living life.
This is like idiots who in their like Facebook profile and it says like education, like they're asking what school you went to, if you went to college or even if just high school, and they go, the school of life or the school of hard knocks. I don't need your stinking book learning, city folk. I learned everything I need to know about going out in the mud and rolling around with the pigs. Or I went around and I know a lot of crack dealers, so I know how to live life. I don't need your stinking books. Genius. Tucker White 94, to be fair, I'm not a fan of books either, other than manga. I'm more of a film person, sure. I have a hard time, and this might be the ADHD, which I'm still not properly medicated for. I really need to call and make another appointment with my person who does that. They tried a couple of ADHD medications, and neither of which did anything to me. And then I was supposed to call and make a third appointment, and I kind of lost focus and never did that, which... ironic. Anyway, I gotta do that, but I have a hard time reading books in text. Comic books are okay because there's other stuff going on with the art and whatever, but like I have a hard time sitting down and reading a book. So I do audiobooks a lot. I haven't lately because I'm with Baja. I'm with Baja less now because she had to go back to work, but especially over the last year or so, we were together all the time, and I like to listen to audiobooks. Like, I don't know, kind of on my own because it feels weird. Although we did listen to some Doctor Who audio dramas, but those are a little different. I like audiobooks, though, because it's easier for me to pay attention to what's going on as opposed to reading text. I don't know if that has to do with the ADHD or not. But books are a good thing. Any source of information is a good thing, whether it's a book or if it is a film or a documentary. You can learn things from fiction, even if it's not actual, like, oh, this thing is literally true. You know, books and television that are fiction often have some sort of moral messaging or have little granules of truth in them. But, like, just letting information in your head outside of your own personal experience is very important. You're not going to learn everything you should about the world if you're entirely relying on your own personal experience. You're just not. Your own personal experience is very limited, which is why you read books or view movies or whatever you happen to do. Thank you, Abby, my dudes, for subscribing with a 3-month streak. Dude spanking dudes. By the way, shill time, even if we all turn out, we can still kind of support Hannah by watching ads for free bits. True. Is there any other ones I missed? No, I think I got it.
Reading books is a very cheap way to, I guess, entertain. I wouldn't call it entertainment because my brain is far too advanced.
I would give anything to be locked in a room with Tate, and he has to comply, and I say to him, Tate, read this page out loud, and I want to see how competent he is at reading. Just make him read a you know, like when you were in school and you maybe read Shakespeare or something, and you had to like go around and read, you know, paragraph by paragraph or page by page, and occasionally you'll get to the one student who, it's very sad. I'm not making fun of this person because it's not necessarily their fault. I would blame Tate because Tate is like proudly ignorant, so I feel like Tate would get to it and be like, God, what's a line from a Shakespeare thing that I know off the top of my head? Romeo? Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? I have a feeling Tate's relationship with literacy is tenuous at best. I feel like Tate's relationship with literacy is the same of his relationship with many women. That is to say, abusive.
I'm too smart to read. I'm not gonna sit there and go, smart people read. No, I need action. I need constant chaos in my life to feel content. I need to be driving a supercar and fucking fighting, fucking a bunch of hoes and champagne and going crazy. I can't just sit there, oh, and the pirate on the boat. Like,
that's how books are, right, folks? And the pirate on the boat. Tate hasn't read a book since he was 6 years old, so I think that's how we think books work for adults. And the pirate was on the boat. The boat was very big. The boat floated down the river.
it's for people with slow brains. You know, there's different kinds of intelligence, and there are smart people with slow brains. But the smartest people in the world also have quick brains. My brain moves quickly, and I...
How do I put this? You could be the Flash, okay? But if you're tripping over every little thing, then the speed doesn't really help you. And that's how I would compare Tate's thoughts. Tate might think very, very quickly, but there's so little content and context for what is in his brain, it's useless to move that fast.
I can't read a book. I can't read a book.
That's probably an honest statement from Tate.
I can't do it. There's no book thrilling enough. It's the same reason why I can't watch TV. I cannot watch Netflix. I can't.
Does Tate have, like, super ADHD and he doesn't realize it?
Because if I sit and
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
Dudes spanking dudes with 10 bits, you know it's bad when I, a person who believes in tarot cards and shit, is smarter than Tate.
Netflix on, I end up just sitting on my phone. Because my phone, I can do a whole bunch of stuff, and Netflix is just background noise. It's not enough to entertain me. No show is thrilling enough. I can barely...
Have you tried Breaking Bad, Tate? Tate, watch Breaking Bad. It's fantastic.
watch YouTube videos. Because people talk so slowly. Have you ever YouTubed something? Like how to use your phone's camera. Whatever, some bullshit.
Who doesn't know how to use their camera?
Hi, welcome to the channel today. And today I'm going to show you how to use your phone's camera. So before we start, if you like and subscribe, skip. I can't even fucking listen to their shit for more than 3 fucking seconds. It pisses me off.
Does Tate think being annoyed by the preamble to a lot of YouTube videos is unique to himself? Because I think a lot of people don't like that, but nonetheless, it's something as a YouTuber you kind of have to do to maintain your channel. You're not, oh god. Tate here reminds me of those people in high school who are like, I'm not like other girls. I go to Hot Topic and wear dark lipstick. Like, yeah, a lot of people are like that, Tate. That's not as unique as you might think.
Everything's slow, and reading books is exceptionally slow. So how do I supplement the knowledge that books provide?
Also, can I comment on this? I wasn't gonna say anything, but I just get more and more curious as this video goes on. What the? What's this? Is this, does Tate have a panic room? Or is this just a safe where he keeps illicit drug money? I feel like if you have a super secure safe, you don't want to put it on camera, like in the, right there. I don't know. Seems like kind of a weird thing to put in frame.
And how did I become such a genius? Well, there's two answers to that question. One, I don't think books provide knowledge. Books provide information, but information is not knowledge.
You hear that? Everyone who's ever learned a thing from a book, which is literally everyone who's read literally any book. That information you have isn't knowledge, because I'm arbitrarily going to decide that information isn't knowledge. I'm Tate. I kicked people in the face for a living. Boom. Knowledge bomb.
My kickboxing coach used to say to me, there's one way to learn a lesson, the hard way. And there's only one other way to learn a lesson, the harder way. And it's absolutely true. You have to feel it to believe it.
It's not a particularly good platitude. Which is why his kickboxing coach is actually also the world's #1 neurosurgeon, the world's #1 geneticist, the world's #1 historian. They just learned everything they needed to know about life and for the humanity, or for the survival of humanity, just by getting kicked in the face a bunch. It's really weird how that works. Oh, this is just an ad for his shitty self-help bullshit.
All the books in the world about how getting married is stupid and you're going to get divorce rate in the West and the woman's going to take all your money. But you're going to meet some chick and fall in love with her and marry her anyway because you're an idiot. But if you get divorced raped once and you won't do it again, there's only one way to learn a lesson, the hard way. So you may be reading all this information, but do you
Nah, you don't have to ban that word. It's fine.
know anything? No, you don't know anything. You only know things by doing things, by living. So one of the ways I supplement the fact that I never read is I live. And I live a very interesting life, and I do what I want all the time, and I have the capability to do anything I want to do. So while you'll sit and read about Taoism or Stoicism like a dork,
I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Taoism, which you may have learned if you'd actually read a book, Tate.
I can fly to China and go into a Taoist temple and say, I want to live here for a month.
Taoist. No, they're not just gonna take you just because you show up and you're rich. Third of all, most people can't do that, Tate. We know you're relatively wealthy. I'm happy for you. Not really. I think Tate, out of all people, should not have the money that he has. He's an idiot. But most people can't do that. A lot of people don't even want to do that. Like, just because I'm interested enough in a certain topic to read a book about it or watch a documentary about it doesn't necessarily mean I want to go there. A good example, last night after I got off stream, I watched multiple documentaries because we watched a video on a tanky talking about North Korea. Excuse me. So I went and watched a couple documentaries about North Korea. Very interesting, very cool to watch, but that doesn't mean I want to go to North Korea, right?
I can do these kind of things. So I live my life. All of my knowledge, everything I've ever said in these Tate speeches comes from things I've lived, things I've done. I do things. And I don't want anyone to ever think that reading something is the same as doing something, because doing something will teach you lessons far faster than reading anything. Try and do.
Hear that, surgeons? Stop reading these hoity-toity books on anatomy and surgical technique. Just crack open someone's chest and start digging around. You'll figure it out, okay? That's what Leonardo da Vinci did. He just took a bunch of dead bodies and was like, oh, what's this? You gotta do that, okay? Stop with all this sissy book learning. Ugh. Thank you to, Comrade Darky, thank you for following.
I'll give you an example. I can't play piano, you can't play piano. There's a piano here. I sit there and start trying to play piano by myself, just pressing keys.
Is he legit gonna try and say that he can learn how to play piano just by randomly fucking around with it? I'm not saying that's impossible. I'm sure there are people who have learned to play the piano just by ear and by messing around with it themselves. But the vast majority of people are not going to be able to learn effectively that way. You either, if you can, get a teacher who can teach you how to do it, or if you can't afford that or don't have access to a teacher, then you should get a book and read it and learn how to play the piano. You'll learn much quicker with a guide than if you're just like, this is a key, this is a key, This is a key. And also, there are things that you're just straight up not going to learn just by messing around. Like, if you want to learn how to read music for the piano, and you want to learn how to read sheet music, you can't just mess around and learn that. You need to read a thing that'll teach you, okay, this is what this symbol means, this is what this symbol means, this is the staff, this is what all the different notes are. Like, you can't just stumble across that.
Fucking around, trying to get stuff that sounds good, fucking around with the pedals, whatever. Another guy sits there and only reads a book about piano and doesn't touch the piano. In 6 months, who will be able to play piano better, me or him?
Someone who read a book. Someone who read a book will be able to learn piano faster than you, Tate.
Me, because I've been doing things while he's been reading things.
You don't just read, though, when you're learning to play piano, Tate. You learn by reading the book, usually in front of the piano. You set it up on the thing, and then you F around with it. You don't literally just read a book when you're talking about practical knowledge like that. Anything. Like, let's say it's a book on small engine repair. You don't just read the book. You read the book in conjunction with actually messing around with whatever small engine you have, right? Like to fix your lawnmower or something. What do you like? And we're only talking about practical application books here, right? We're not even talking about like fiction, because fiction is a different thing. You usually read fiction for entertainment, right? Fiction is for entertainment, or I don't know, would reading something just because it has a historical significance, that would fall under entertainment, I would say. Reading fiction is typically for entertainment or for understanding a certain author or something if you're reading it for a class. But there are also, like, books that are nonfiction, but they're informative, right? Like, I'm not, like, if I read, The Universe in a Nutshell by Stephen Hawking, or the other one he did, which I also have, which A Brief History of the Universe, right? I'm not going to become a physicist, but it's interesting. It's recreational, informational reading. That's a thing people do. Tate, read a book, please!
Reading isn't real life.
We know, Tate. It gives you information that other people have gathered about real life, because no one person can explore and understand everything and discover it for themselves. So what we do as a species, and this is why, by the way, Tate, we have cars and homes and computers and the internet. We have that because people share their knowledge with each other in the written form. If we didn't have the written word, we'd still be back, like, living in small city states without a whole lot of technology, because every individual person would have to learn things all for themselves, maybe with the help of someone who's older than them, like a apprenticeship, right? Like, that's fine, but the fact that we have the written word and can share knowledge with each other is why humanity has been able to succeed as much as we have. For anyone in 2020 on the internet to be like, book learning is stupid. It's one of the most profoundly ignorant things I can imagine, and it's kind of hilarious. It swings towards super depressing, but then it's so ridiculous it swings back around to being very, very funny to me. Cascadia93 with 10 bits. I learned how to play the keyboard by ear. I learned how to produce music by reading. Yep. There are things you have to read about if you want to learn it, you know?
All the time you spend reading, if you were to fuck it off and spend living, you would learn more, if you did the right things. The problem is with most of you dorks, you're either broke or you're lazy, so if you throw reading away, then what you're going to do is just watch TV. You're not going to do anything. But if you were to actually go living instead, you'd learn things.
Is Tate's advice to poor people just stop being poor? Because if you read a book, Tate, you might know why that's a stupid thing to say.
That's one of the first points I have about reading. The second point I have about reading is, another reason I don't read is because I play chess. And when you play chess, chess is completely different than reading, because reading is static. Reading is just...
You love how Carl Sagan talked about reading. Can you share the quote? Sure.
Information, consume the information,
Good show there from Tate!
Chess is constantly
Why was that a thing edited into the video?
changing and evolving and moving. No two chess games are the same. So it's very much like life. You have to apply knowledge you know on an unfamiliar situation at all times. It's completely unfamiliar. So chess supplements reading
There's nothing
completely.
funny about the tools
No,
of
it doesn't.
capitalism.
Chess does not supplement reading. What are you talking about? Tate, can you learn about, I don't know, foreign affairs or domestic policy or science or math or history from chess? No. Chess, you'll learn about chess, and chess is a great game, but, like, it's not a supplement for reading books. Tate, stop. Dude spanking dudes with 10 bits. Does he not know you can read books for free? It's called a library. I don't know. I don't know what Tate thinks.
You can
There are books on chess.
choose between the two, choose chess. I think the only reason people read nowadays anyways is because it's an easy way to gain some kind of bragging.
You know how to play chess, but you don't know how to win chess? That pretty much explains how I feel about it, too. I know what all the pieces do, but I don't know how to use that information effectively.
Rights. It's bragging rights without pain. It's bragging rights without danger. Hey, you seen all these books I read? You sat still and you turned pages. Like, if I'm gonna brag about shit I did which others can't do. Dangerous things.
Tate, remember that time you went... You were gonna go skydiving, and then you got into the class to do the skydiving, and you chickened out? What is that about living life to its fullest and having experiences? Tucker White 94 with 10 bits. This whole video is basically the plot to a Fairly Odd Parents episode. I don't remember that episode.
It takes balls because the current education system is read, read, read. It's not do, do, do. It's read, read, read.
I mean, it would depend on what you're talking about. Yeah, a lot of classes involve reading because that's an effective way to learn information. But if we're talking about like a science class, usually, at least in my experience in my schooling, and I'm just talking about high school here because I dropped out of college because I suck. I'd like to go back someday. But if we're talking about like high school, yeah, we did experiments alongside the reading to demonstrate that what we were reading was practical knowledge that's true. In terms of like a history class, you can't learn history practically outside of like visiting somewhere like, I don't know, Gettysburg and having a tour guide talk to you about that. But even before that, you're going to read about it so you know the context within, you know, which you are exploring this historical place. If we're talking about an English class, that's about, like, speaking and writing and reading English. So reading in and of itself is the doing in that class. I really don't know what you think you're talking about, Tate. Tate, schooling involves both reading and practical application skills.
And that's why most people who come out of school can't do shit. That's why college and university is a complete waste of time.
You should kick people in the face like me. Everyone should do that. We'll have a whole economy based on kicking people in the face. Tate doesn't understand how the economy works. Carl Sagan, quote, "What an astonishing thing a book is. It's a flat object made from a tree with flexible parts on which are imprinted lots of funny dark squigglies, but at a glance at it, and you're inside the mind of another person, maybe somebody dead for thousands of years. Across the millennia, an author is speaking clearly and silently inside your head, directly to you. Writing is perhaps the greatest of human inventions, binding together people who never knew each other, citizens of distant epochs. Books break the shackles of time. A book is proof that humans are capable of working magic." That is a nice quote.
I did not go to university. The most successful people I know did not go to university. I do not have 4 years to dedicate to sitting there reading.
Tate, your definition of success is how much money you have, which is a problem, I think, in the Western world in general, that's our bar for success. Have a lot of money. I don't think you're a successful person, Tate, because I don't think your value is measured by the digits in your bank account. I think it's measured by who you are as a person morally. Most of it's morally, but also if you're self-actualizing and trying to be a good version of yourself and trying to better yourself and learn new things, that's also great. You know what I mean? Like, Tate, I know you think the end-all be-all of your existence is getting a ton of money and sleeping with a lot of women. If that makes you happy, that's your business. I don't really care. But it seems like a pretty shallow, empty excuse for a life to me. And it seems that you're trying to compensate for the fact that that life is empty by telling other people to actually try and improve themselves by reading books or just entertain themselves by doing so. You're trying to tell them that they're lesser because they might have less money than you, that you got for kicking people in the face and buying Bitcoin. Like, I do not have... I wish I read more books so I would have more words and I could string them together in a more verbose way to explain how stupid and morally vacuous I find Tate to be. I have not read enough books to insult this man properly.
Reading books of outdated knowledge when all the latest information in the world's on my internet Google browser for free anyway, and listen to some dork who's never made any money in his life tell me how to live my life. It's complete garbage. If you meet anyone who's successful near any field, most of them didn't go university. Now, I understand there's some professions where you need to go university to become a doctor, blah, blah, blah. I understand that. My point is, in general, is that the whole education system is not based on doing things, it's based on reading things.
Right, you read things so you're prepared to do those things. Yeah, Tate, that's how basically every skill set in the world works. You go to school, and if you're a lawyer, you read about the law, and then you learn how to apply that law, either in contract law or in actual, like, court. If you're a doctor, the same applies. You read so you know how to treat patients or whatever your specialty happens to be. If you're a teacher, you read about methods of teaching and on whatever topics you're going to cover, and then you apply those things by teaching students in your student teaching, and then once you finally get your full degree in your teaching career, this is just, you're just describing how things work when you don't kick people in the face for a living. I genuinely think Tate is very insecure about himself. And instead of, like, admitting that there are things that he could improve himself on, maybe reading every once in a while, or by, like, learning more about the world around him outside of just going places and trying to sleep with women, instead he just, like, no, I'm not wrong, let me demonize people who read books. It's very, very strange. Doesn't Tate sell his system to people who haven't done anything? Yes. It's hilarious that he's saying this right now, because Tate's entire system, which you can pay money for, thousands of dollars on some of these. Like, this is just literally Tate's war room. This is 1,397 pounds to enter this chat room. It's just a chat room for people who pay stupid amounts of money to Tate. This is 337, whatever, for this program. This one's 500. This one's 1,000, 200, 500. Just so, like, Tate will talk to you and tell you things. The fact that Tate is shitting on books when his entire program is just the same idea as books, but for people who don't want to read, it's hilarious.
And this is why, if you want information on how to get something done, you need to speak to somebody who can do stuff. So if I'm going to learn piano, I want to learn piano from somebody who plays piano, not somebody who's read how to play piano.
Tools of capitalism.
If you get a piano teacher, they're going to tell you to get a book, and in the week while you're not actually in the class, they're going to say, okay, read this and practice these exercises. It all works together, Tate. Why do you think it's one or the other? The vast majority of learning takes place both with books and with practical application. Tucker White 94, Hannah, I think you're in the wrong line of work. Tate is the best grift going. I guess. I don't feel like I'm as immoral as him. I don't think I could do it, unfortunately. You mean the thing I do with you for 10 bits a pop? True. That is true. This whole stream is a scam. Good job. Yep. Supporting me with your bits. It's apparently a scam now.
I don't want someone to give me a book and say, read this and we'll talk through it together. No, I want you to play piano, motherfucker, right here in front of me, and I want to watch you do it, and I want to try and see you do it. I want to learn from you. This is going to all tie into one more thing called my Hustlers University. My Hustlers University is every single lesson I have ever learned in my business career. I've run over...
Tate, what happened to telling people to do things? Now it's not about doing things, it's about listening to someone else talk about what they've done. You're just describing reading, but without writing it down. You're just doing, assuming these are videos, you're basically just doing audiobooks explaining the things you've learned from what you've done. You could just as easily write this down into a book and sell it. It's the same exact thing.
For 100 companies, I've won with some, I lost with others, etc., and I have 100 stories with 100 business lessons that are going to teach you everything about making money from the ground up. Because what you'll notice in your life, ladies and gentlemen, is nobody has ever sat there with you and said, this is how you make money. They've said, get a job, maybe, or, drop shipping or some garbage. But no one's ever sat there and go, okay, cut the bullshit. This is the real world. This is how you make money. Any field, any profession, doesn't matter if you have investment money, doesn't matter if you're starting with nothing.
Tate, there have been plenty of, make money books. There have been plenty of make money programs. This isn't a new thing. Donald Trump wasn't, publishing The Art of the Deal back in the 80s. The idea of having a program or a book that says, here's how you can succeed in business, it's not even close to a new idea. It's one of the most saturated BS markets out there. There's self-help books that are often a super saturated market full of people trying to grift other people. But then there's also this sort of self-help where it's how to make $1 million, how to succeed in business, how to yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. This is an incredibly saturated market because everyone who has money thinks they have, the way to get rich. Even people who don't have money, and that's why they publish the book, to get money.
Doesn't matter if you're rich, poor, doesn't matter if you already have a business, looking for a business idea, doesn't matter if you have an idea and you don't know how to launch it, doesn't matter. This is the framework, no matter what. This is how you make money from anywhere in the world, like this. Nobody's ever done that before, except for me. I've done that in my Hustlers University. I teach you everything.
Does Tate think he's the only successful business person on the planet? He should probably read a book and learn that that's not the case. And in fact, in the pantheon of successful business people,
There's nothing funny about the tools of
he's probably not that high on the list. Wind Chanter with 10 bits, but Hannah, Tate is too busy drop shipping supercars into Romania to scam people, let alone kick down enough trees to make a whole book.
anything but inspect this temple of capitalism.
Liability Lefty, thank you for raiding with 5 raiders. Welcome, raiders. We're looking at Tate, telling us why books are bad. Go check out Liability Lefty's channel.
The tools of capitalism.
Mitchell Drummer with 25 bits. Hey Hannah, I made a Chud Watch bingo card. Can we play it? I'll gift the free sub to whoever wins. If you want, but I'm not doing the gifting on this one. I can only afford to do it once a week on Tinfoil Tuesday. But if people want to play this, they sure can. Let's see what I have on my bingo card. Soy, arresting people for misgendering, moving goalpost, struggling to read. I'm going to count struggling to read from the Tate video, because I feel like the underlying theme of that entire video was basically...
There's nothing funny about the tools of capitalism.
was basically he struggles to read. Cascadian93, after listening to a lot of wrestlers talk about their life, combat sports athletes often do have big self-image issues. Many work out like crazy to get their self-loathing out of their system. I think the best examples of this are Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero. Chris was so obsessed that he took roids while he was dealing with severe CTE, making him so angry and depressed he murdered his wife and son, then himself over the weekend. Ooh, that's dark. Islamophobia, American Dream, saying SJW in 2020, degenerate, strawman, homogenous culture, rant Sona, virtue signaling, gender equals sex, complaining about minority protagonists, grifting, grifting, that's for sure the Tate video, red black pill, liberal equals left equals Democrat, defending rapist, LGBT equals pedophilia, vague gesturing and imagined hypocrisy, word salad, I'm a leftist, tokenism. Hold on, let me save this all so I can have this for future things. Thank you for making a bingo card, that's fun. Can we count word salad? I don't think Tate's word salad. Tate's stupid, and what he said is dumb, but I don't think that was word salad-y. I don't know what all the stuff on the bingo card is, for the record, because this is the first time I've seen it. Nah, don't do the bingo command, because it's just gonna bring up the Tinfoil Tuesday bingo. This is a different thing. But, yeah. Cool.
Everything you need to know on how to make money. Exactly, we used to
Thank you for making the bingo card, sincerely. That's very cool.
piano analogy one more time. Imagine you were to go up to a piano guy. A guy playing piano is the best pianist you've ever heard. He's a bad boy. And you go up and say, look, I want you to teach me how to play piano. You're going to know how to play piano. Exactly the same with me. Multi-millionaire, I'm going to sit down with you one-on-one and teach you.
Tate, here's the thing, though. That's not an effective way of passing on knowledge to other generations, because every good piano player can't take the time to train people all the time. If you're a concert-level pianist and you're, like, doing shows at Carnegie Hall, I don't know, you don't have time in your schedule to go and teach a bunch of other people about piano. So maybe you write a book and you're like, here are things that I learned, here's what helped me learn, and then it's available to anyone who can get the book. Whether they buy it or get it at their local library or whatever, that's the purpose of a book, Tate. Books don't just appear from the ether. An expert, or someone who's like a fiction writer, if we're talking about fiction, takes their thoughts and puts them down into a medium that allows anyone to go and access it. That's why books are good, Tate. It takes the expert feelings and thoughts of someone who is really good at piano, and instead of having to interface with them, you can just read the book.
Everything there is to know about making money. No reading, no time wasting, action, and cash.
Tate is so embarrassing.
Making money. Nobody goes to university and
Another ad for his shitty self-help service.
leaves knowing how to get rich. And if you look at all the richest people in the world, or all the most successful people, they'll say, I didn't go to school, or I quit university, I dropped out. Because you're not learning anything about getting rich. I don't know about you. All I ever want to do is get rich. I didn't give a fuck if I got rich breaking rocks, or got rich being a professional fighter. I didn't care. I want money. Congratulations, you're about to learn. This is
I don't understand the pursuit of wealth as an end in and of itself. I understand the thought within a capitalist system, because we all feel this, because that's like the motivator in a capitalist system is, hey, do things, make money, or you will die. So I understand wanting to get to a point where you are reasonably compensated and you can afford to live a comfortable life, right? I'm not wealthy, but I have a house. I like the house. I'm moving in with Baja next year, but that's okay, because we're also moving into another house. I'm fine as long as I have a place to live. I just don't like living in an apartment. But, like, I don't need to live in a mansion. I'm happy having a house that's just comfortable. It has enough space for me and for my stuff. And that's it. I don't really feel the need to accumulate a bunch more wealth. Would it be good to have a safety net? Yes, I will try and save money as I get older, especially for hopefully someday I can retire and not just do this when I'm 90 years old. Although that would be fun. That would be fun if I'm doing this when I'm very, very old. It's not a very strenuous job that I couldn't do it as an old person, but who knows. But this constant, like, obsession with wealth in and of itself as an end is so weird. I don't want money so I can have more money. I want money so someday I can retire with, like, Baja comfortably. Or I want money so I can make sure we have food. Or I want money to make sure that I can, like, pay bills. It's not about, like, I just want money because money good. It's so strange. So strange. Which one do I have on my bingo card? We have soy, arresting people for misgendering, moving goalposts, struggling to read, blames feminism, strawman, degenerate, saying SJW in 2020, American dream, Islamophobia, homogenous culture, rantsona. I'm not sure what rantsona means. Virtue signaling, gender equals sex. Is rantsona something like someone like Doomcock? Like, is Doomcock a rantsona because it's like a character he's playing? Defending R-word, liberal equals left equals Democrat, red pill, black pill. Grifting, complaining about minority protagonist, LGBTQ equals pedophilia, vague gesturing, and imagined hypocrisy, word salad, I'm a leftist, tokenism. That's what I have. No BS, undoomed. Yeah, okay, cool. Thought so. Anyway, Tate's fascinating, to say the least. All of us watching Hannah from our hover rocking chairs in 60 years.
The tools of capitalism.
Stone Corbell, Ransona is like when someone has a little drawing of a furry or whatever that changes slightly between shots. Sort of give the uploader's reaction. But, like, Doomcock counts too? Okay, I would say so, because even though it's not like an image, he's still, like, making himself anonymous by wearing a mask, so. Like Logic is, you know, similar. He's live action, but he's wearing, you know, stuff. Joke's on you, you won't be alive in 60 years. Yeah, probably not me either, but, you know. 60, 70, 80. Yeah, it depends. It's a real crapshoot genetically for me, because I am in the process of losing weight. So as I get older, I will be, you know, in a healthy weight for most of my life, which will be nice when I get there. But, like, my family has some people in it who live really old, and they're quite healthy looking for their age. And then I have other side of the family where it's not looking so hot. So I don't know if that'll even out or what, but... Have you missed the danger of books? You did. We just finished. I'm sorry. Anyway, that's enough of Tate. Bye, Tate. Maybe work on just all of it.